Hello and welcome back to ABAP programming course for beginners by amarman.com. In the last video, we discussed about the advantages of ERP software. Now, the SAP ERP software is used by thousands of customers across the globe, including many Fortune 500 companies. The main advantage of using SAP as your company ERP system is that SAP has a very high level of integration among its individual applications, which guarantees consistency of data throughout the system and the company itself. In this video, first we will discuss about a historical overview of SAP so that our understanding of SAP becomes even better. And then later we will discuss about SAP ERP architecture. The first SAP ERP system was released in the year 1972. It was known as the SAP R1 system. Later in late 1970s, SAP released their second ERP system. They called it as the R2 system, where R stands for real-time data processing. Then over down the line in early 1990s, SAP released their third ERP system called as the R3 system. And later in early 2000, SAP released ECC system, also known as Enterprise Central Component System. And then latest in 2015, SAP has released their S/4HANA system. So we see here that SAP has been constantly releasing and upgrading their ERP system or ERP software to meet the business requirements. And S/4HANA is the latest among these series of ERP system. Now that was a historical overview of SAP in a very concise manner. And next, we will try to discuss about SAP ERP architecture. SAP ERP architecture. So as we know that, SAP released their R1 system in the year 1972. So here R stands for real-time data processing. And R1 system is also a single tier architecture system. So it was a single tier architecture system. Single tier architecture system. So in a single tier architecture, there is no bifurcation between the presentation, application, and database layer, and all the three layers are installed on a single system. So we can say that the presentation layer, the application layer, and the database layer, all of them reside on a single system. So we have this presentation layer, then we have the application layer, and then we have the database layer. So all of these resides on a single system in a single tier architecture. Then if we talk about R2 system or two tier architectures, so in a two tier architecture, we have two layers. The presentation layer and application with database layer. So this is the representation of a two tier architecture. So we can say that if this is our system, so we have the application and we have the database, and then we will have clients or the presentation layer. So client is nothing but the presentation layer. For example, this is our client 1, and all these clients will communicate with the system. So we have a number of clients there. All right, and all these clients will communicate with the system. So this is the architecture of a R2 system or a two-tier architecture, in which we have the presentation layer, separate presentation layer, but the application layer and the database layer, they both reside on the same system. So this is our two-tier architecture. And then we have the three-tier architecture. Now in a three-tier architecture, we have all the three layers. That is, we have separate presentation layer, application layer, and a separate database layer. So this is the concept of a three-tier architecture. And if we try to understand it diagrammatically, we have a database. So let's say this is our database, and we will have application layers on top of the database. So let's say this is your application server. So this is the application layer, and then we will have clients or the presentation layer. So all these clients can communicate with the application layer, and we can have a number of systems or servers working at the application layer. Fine, and all these application layers will communicate with the database. So this is the whole scenario of a three-tier architecture. So in this video, we learned about the famous ERP system releases of SAP and also the client server architecture that SAP system follows. That's all in this video. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, then please subscribe and hit the bell icon.